You know that saying about it being darkest before the dawn? It might be a perception issue, but it's kind of true. Right now, the economy, unemployment, and politics in this country are terrible. We really are in the dumps. But this country has survived hard times before. And even though we don't have the experience of 250 years, we can be confident that our lives will get better too. Better times are ahead for both us and the country. This one is for the version of me that has faith that better times are just over the horizon. Dear older me, older people look back and say that even though they had to walk both directions uphill in the snow, life was better when they were growing up. I have decided that it's not true, and that it just sounds true. It was simpler, but not necessarily better. For instance, the greatest generation was great because the whole world was pulling together and in the same direction. Well, except for the part of the world that was pulling in the opposite direction. Everybody close by was going through the same bad experience together. It is easier to get through a bad experience if you don't feel alone, if everyone you talk to understands what you are saying. Whereas today, we are divided almost 50-50. And what's worse is that we don't know if the person we are talking to thinks like we do, or if we should talk in metaphors. What is truly dangerous is feeling alone during an uncertain time. Not only are we all on our own little island, but for all we know, that island might sink to the bottom of the sea. And yes, the greatest generation had reason to think that their island might sink to the bottom of the sea too, but they were all inhabiting the same island. So I think it was easier then. Is that blasphemy? It didn't feel like it at the time, but I think it was. While physical death seems more dramatic, the psychological pressure of feeling alone might be worse. It seems almost unbelievable, but there have been incompetent administrations before, although maybe not outright hostile ones. We have lived through close calls and nuclear narrow escapes. We have always said, "I'm so glad that so-and-so was in charge," or we would never have survived that close call. But maybe it just takes time for incompetence to filter out. And since we change between parties in charge so frequently, there may be a reason nothing too outrageously bad happens. Anyway, when you feel like it can't get any darker and you are alone going through an issue, it is up to you to reach out. You need to know that it only feels like you are alone on your island, but it's not actually true. And in order to prove that to yourself, you have to find somebody you can talk to. And if they understand what you are saying, so much the better. Find a community. Maybe start with a hobby that others share. Maybe start online and then reach out to people in the real world. Maybe start a community of your own. If people in a world war can do it, so can you. Signed by the future me who has finally made it to the other side.